Alright everyone, settle down so I can begin the briefing. Since this is our first directive, I'll first give a small explanation on what a directive is. A directive is basically a set of goals for a guild to achieve. Of course, our main goal will also always be to just have fun and be sociable and raid and be active in the game. But the directives will allow us to set some goals to improve our guild and to benchmark our progress as a guild. So each directive will consist of 8 different categories. First, you have the debriefing, which is basically how well our previous directive went. Then you have administration, which deals with officers and meetings and stuff like that. Website maintenance, which is self-explanatory. Recruitment and diplomacy, which deals with everything that promotes the guild. Training and simulation, which I will explain when we get to that category. Missions and operations, which deals with our activity within the guild, whether it's PvP or PvE. Engineering and logistics, which deals with crafting and loot distribution, and foreign projects, which deals with our activity in other games such as League of Legends or Battlefield 3. So each category can contain multiple subjects, and each subject may result in multiple tasks or events being created. And tasks will be assigned to officers or units or individual members at the end, and then those members can start to work on those tasks and report back via reports, so that we can then debrief the tasks and see how well we achieved our directive. So first off, we have the briefing, but since this is the first directive, we will continue directly on to administration. For administration, we have 2 different subjects: guild officer meetings and or guild and / officer meetings, and the new Master at Arms unit. At launch, I want to have monthly guild meetings for the entire guild, as well as weekly officer meetings. That way we can have proper feedback on what should improve in the guild, we can make directives based on that, and we can see how well those directives are being achieved. As well as just find out if there are problems in the guild that need to be solved immediately. For now, I just want to create an event, which is another guild meeting, and I plan to do it somewhere in September. Of course, we need to find out when everybody can make it, so that date still needs to be planned. On to the next subject. Currently, Sazerac has created an extra rank, which is the Warrant Officer. I plan to change that in Master of Arms. The idea is that currently we have reached our officer limit. We don't want to have too many officers, but at the same time we have some active members that that are very active and that are basically taking on doing officer task right now. So the idea is to create sort of a layer in between. What I suggest is that this will be the Master at Arms unit. So it will be between NCO and officer. The idea is that they will be a Master at Arms unit, or also known as security, and they will be led by a captain or higher. So they will be led by an officer, but the members themselves will not be officers. Basically, in real life, Master at Arms can mean both weapon instructor as well as a Navy military police, and those will be pretty much the exact functions that they will have within our guild. They will oversee training and conduct of members and recruits. So basically, the idea is that they will they will help with the training of the new recruits, and then they'll also sort of try and oversee conduct of members of the guild in general. So this can be so. Then we have a form, which I will explain in a moment, where they can sort of report on members' conduct, and they can recommend that some members may be punished for inappropriate behavior, but also that some members may be given a reward for proper behavior, so it goes both ways. So this brings us to our first task. For the next part of our briefing, I'm going to explain how to create a report. If you go to our site and you hover over directives, you will see a drop-down that links to report. Here you can write down the name of your operation, the date and time, and whether or not it's a task, flashpoint, mission, which will be a PvP sort of thing, or an operation. You can then set which units are participated in your task or operation, and which members. Then set out the situation, which provides the context for the report, the objectives, and how you try to execute those objectives. Then state which objective you achieved and how well the mission went overall. You can then recommend certain members for commendations and certain members for infractions. If you then submit the form. I can then see the form by clicking here. No, go to applications. And I can see it in general, and so can other administrators. We will now move on to recruitment and diplomacy. Currently we have only 2 subjects on this for this category, since our diplomatic relations with Order of the Risen went nowhere, since they're going for a different type of server. Our subjects will be the new recruitment thread and the promotional video. I will submit a link to the new recruitment thread. People should try to check it occasionally, and don't spam it, but try to subtly bump it and check for genuine people who are replying, so we can try to recruit them, of course. Another possible advantage for this is that we might get selected for testing by being active, although there's a slim chance for this, but we can always try. For the promotional video, there's been talk about creating a promotional video for some time. Things have been going slow. Perhaps we should move to a different format, something like this, although I'll be fair, this PowerPoint presentation is kind of crappy. We can also stick to the original idea by Zezarok, but then we should really make some work of it. So that's our second task for this briefing, is to create a promotional video for our guild. It can be as complicated or as not complicated as we want. We just need to create one. Due to time constraints, I will cut this briefing off into 2 parts, so I'll link the second part in this video.